What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more hardcore, and we're back with a tune from the Mokum label and Slugnoid, one of my favorite producers in the genre, and we're going to listen to a tune that came out from him on a very interesting vinyl from Mokum last year, though I only found out about it recently. That is to say, there's 2 tracks from Slugnoid on one side, 2 tracks from the Twins Hardcore on the other, but in both cases, one of the 2 tunes is a remastering by Roberto, big shout out to Formek, of a tune that had appeared elsewhere. And in both cases, I have the earlier release with the track in question. And I do think both remasters do give the track a bit more oomph, a bit more power. So again, shout out to Roberto. But there are, as I said, or there is, one new tune from both Slugnoid and Twins Hardcore on the vinyl, and we're going to listen to the new one from Slugnoid, and that is Ganjaman. Not to be confused with the track Ganjaman, spelled Ganja space man, from Nesbit, an acid techno track I reacted to just about a year ago, I think a little bit over a year ago. But this time it's all one word, and it does indeed feature a great reggae sample that talks about Ganjaman, and it is, I think, indicative of Slugnoid's style in that it's very energetic, it's very wicked, it's got acid work, but also some atmosphere and some melody to it. And I will say, like, my brain, when I hear music in general, and maybe even more specifically electronic dance music, acid techno, hard trance, hardcore, I tend to see sounds, meaning the bass line will have an appearance, a motion, a visual character to me. Same thing with the melodic synths, with the percussion hits, and so on. And even though my brain also does that with more regular music, pop music, punk rock, and so on, it really does it most acutely with dance music. But rarely does my brain see, like, a movie. Now, I say rarely. I suppose in the last few years, once I've started doing these reactions, it has happened more often. But it's still not all that common for me to start imagining a scene that I have no precedent for. But when I first heard this tune, that's what my brain did, and allow me to quickly explain. There's a part in the latter half of the tune where it really hollows out, and there's this suspenseful air. You can tell it's going to come roaring back. It's a bit of an anticipation moment, but there's also a bit of a haunting sound, and then it indeed rushes back in with a real stripped-down, rocking, percussion-led section. And when I heard that, I had this weird visual, this little movie that my mind played, because I was thinking of, in that haunting section with a great deal of anticipation, I had this image of walking into a warehouse that's clearly been the scene of many, many rave parties, but when you walk in, there's nobody there. It's abandoned. It's a ghost town warehouse that used to have rave parties. And I had this thought right as the track really does roll back in and drop again. It's like, what if you walked into this empty warehouse and you got a sense that there used to be a lot of people here, but there was no one here now. It's a bit eerie. It's a bit unsettling. You kind of looked over. There's no one there. And then you had this sense, wait, look back one more time. And you look back and there's thousands of undead ravers. My brain first saw it sort of as like ghosts. And then I thought like, oh, but maybe it could be like zombies, like, the undead that just overwhelm you and come out of nowhere. So again, like, I don't think that has anything to do with the track, but that's kind of what my brain saw in that part, which again, it's maybe like 60-70% into the tune, walking into an empty warehouse where there used to be raves, looking around, seeing no one, then getting this weird kind of twinge in the back of your neck, turning again, thousands of crazy undead ravers who immediately start going wild when the track drops in. So have that visual in your mind if you would. But either way, it's a brilliant tune. It's got acid aplenty, as well as a very wicked bass line kick drum scheme as usual. This is Slugnoid. I do have to mention, and this is not the first time, and it's fine, once you figure it out, it's not really a problem, but the labels are switched. The tunes it says are on that side, meaning this side, are actually on the this side, and the tunes it says are on this side are actually on that side. So yeah, I was confused when I put this on my turntable for the first time to rip the tracks, but yes, this is Ganjaman, and it's by Slugnoid on Mokum 313, which came out in August, I believe, of last year. Luke is like, shut up, play the tune.
Ganjaman, arena pick up the neck, arena Ganjaman, arena pick up the neck, arena Ganjaman. Here we go. Arena make them smell how me drum.
We have to turn this one up really low.
Ganjaman.
All stand by crew. Selector. Turn up the sound.
Smell on me drum. Don't Ganjaman.
All suspenseful crew. Selector. Turn up the sound.
Arena finna make a real Ganjaman. Lane with arena make them smell how me drum. Arena finna make a real Ganjaman. Lane with arena make them smell how me drum. Arena finna make a real Ganjaman. Lane with arena make them smell how me drum. Arena finna make them smell how me drum.
Wicked. And I believe I did react to the remastered tune on this side, although the original version, which is to say the track that's about to start after this, is Da Panic, which is a tune that was out on the... what is it called? I'm trying to remember the name. I think it's an Overdrive record, and all 4 tracks on it are fantastic, and I think I reacted to all 4 tunes. But yes, it's a tune with a lot of acid work just like this one, and I may have to come back and react to the remastered version, so shout out to both Slugnoid and Deformec. But yes, as for this one here, it's brilliant, I love it. It's got, again, lots of different acid work, that really wicked, sharp acid line that comes in right after the opening drop, and then again near the end. I like that, but I especially like the drop with a lot of acid in the core, like middle of the tune, right smack dab in the middle. That may be my favorite part, though again, and not just because I had that visual thought, but that section where it really hollows out, gets a bit suspenseful, and then drops back in with a stripped down, basically only kick drum and bass line sequence. I really love that. But there's other layers as well. There's like this plucked, almost like a string synth being plucked type of sound. There's obviously a lot of percussion shifts along the way, you know, the ride cymbal coming in double time, and I love the way the tune evolves, and there's again, some atmosphere, some melody, even as it's wicked, driving, and acidic. So, top tune, absolutely love it. Shout out once again to Slugnoid. Shout out to Roberto for all his mastering work, not to mention his great tracks in his own right. Shout out to Mokum for continuing to put out excellent hardcore vinyl right up into the present day. Let me know what you think of this one. And Luca, the sleeping cat, and I, who unfortunately has been woken up, I do apologize, Luca. We'll see you next time. Peace.